A lot of guns can look pretty samey, especially if you're only casually into guns. Particularly when it comes to consumer or contract weapons. Manufacturers often stick to what works and works well. But there are some really creative and cutting-edge guns out there, and in this video, we'll be going through a few of our favorite ones. Number 10. MP155 ULTIMA. Brought to us by the visionary mind that created the AK-47, the MP155 ULTIMA is described by Kalashnikov as the world's first smart shotgun. What does that even mean? Well, this might be one of the first guns you've ever seen that has a computer built in, and there's even a display with controls on top of the receiver. That screen can show you stats from the built-in shot counter, as well as the number of rounds you have left inside. There's also a camera that can record and stream full HD video, and you have a compass, stopwatch, and timer included. The data collected by the computer can be dumped onto a computer through a USB-C connection, and there are other ways in which apps could interact with the gun. As for the shotgun part of this smart shotgun, the MP155 has honored the Kalashnikov reputation for reliable and dependable firearms. The gun is already popular in Russia for its quality and affordability, and the ULTIMA just adds some futuristic stuff to the platform. Number 9. RADETEC Smart Slide. While we're talking about putting screens on guns, the Spanish company RADETEC or RADETEC are offering you the chance to add a display to your Glock 17. As the name implies, the Smart Slide replaces the stock slide of the Glock 17. This new slide contains sensors and equipment that allow the Smart Slide to monitor all kinds of data in the gun, including remaining ammunition and whether the chamber has a round in or not. All this data is shown on an LED screen on the back of the slide. The ammunition counter can be changed to a shot counter, and the display can also show warnings and alerts from when something is wrong with the gun. This gadget also comes with a USB connection, but it's only for charging. RADETEC only made 1,000 of these Smart Slide kits, and that was back in April. You might be able to find one somewhere at this point, but for a gadget so cool, it won't be an easy thing to do. We'd also be worried about installation, as although the Smart Slide doesn't make any changes to the gun, RADETEC insisted on buyers sending their Glocks to them so they could install it themselves. Number 8. CYNERGY Shotgun. Double-barreled shotguns are really cool. That's why we love to see them in real life as well as video games. But in reality, double-barreled shotguns are complicated things, and the Browning CYNERGY shotgun is one of the best ones you can get. What makes the CYNERGY so unique is its trigger mechanism and monolock hinge. The trigger group eschews the traditional system that's common in other shotguns. Instead, this trigger is based on a reverse striker, similar to hunting rifles. These have actuators that can transfer the impact force of the striker from the spring to the firing pin. This reduces lock time, which is important for hunting fast-moving targets. The monolocking hinge allows the gun to have a lower overall profile. Basically, when you swing the receiver open to eject spent casings and load new rounds, the monolock hinge can pivot further than the usual shotgun. This allows the gun to be slimmer without making loading any more difficult. Number 7. MAUSER C96. The MAUSER C96 needs no introduction. Whether you're a fan of guns or just like Cold War movies, when you see this pistol with the integrated box magazine, you know you're looking at a MAUSER. This gun was first produced in Germany by the MAUSER company, but its design is so effective and reliable that it inspired tons of copycats all over the world. So what made the MAUSER so special? Well, the integrated box mag was incredibly reliable while being easy and cheap to manufacture. The gun also had a longer and wider barrel than most pistols of the time. All this put together gave the MAUSER a long range and better penetration than basically any pistol available at the time. When it came to penetration, its record wouldn't be beaten until the .357 Magnum rounds became available. Now there's another instantly recognizable icon from the world of guns. Number 6. UTAS UTS-15. The UTS-15 was born from a simple request made to UTAS by Smith & Wesson. Create the ultimate police shotgun. According to S&W, the ultimate police shotgun would be a 12-gauge pump action that can hold 13 rounds at minimum and be less than 30 inches long overall. UTAS certainly managed to produce a shotgun that fit all their criteria, while also supporting a range of different rounds. Designed in the bullpup style, the shotgun also features a Picatinny rail for sights and a Beretta-style thread in the barrel for choke tubes. It's because it's made from fiber-reinforced injection molded polymer. It's light too, making it easy to equip for special tactics units. The coolest thing about the UTAS-15 is that it doesn't have just one tube feed, it has two. Each tube can hold 7 rounds for a total of 14. This is good because, as a police firearm, it won't always be used to kill. Officers can load each tube with a different type of round, perhaps 7 lethal and 7 non-lethal, and a selector switch allows them to pick which one to fire. The selector also has an alternating default, but that's probably a setting to be careful with. Number 5. AA-12. This is it, the holy grail of shotguns. Fully automatic with a 32-round drum and an open bolt system. Sometimes gun manufacturers think too hard about whether they can, they forget to think about whether they should. The firepower that the A-12 can provide in a short burst of time, 300 rounds per minute, is basically unrivaled among shotguns. But shotguns famously have a lot of recoil, which makes the idea of a fully auto shotgun sound weird on paper. That brings us to the second craziest thing about the AA-12, a long recoil spring and a gas-based shock absorption system. So along with being fully auto, this shotgun has almost no recoil. Such power shouldn't be common, and so the AA-12 is actually pretty rare. Only a few countries have military contracts for them, and it's a dream collectible for private owners. Number 4. RADETEC Smart Gun. We're coming back to RADETEC, who are using their smarts to tackle one of the biggest problems with private firearm ownership. In countries like the US, there are too many incidents where children somehow get their hands on their parents' guns, and tragic accidents follow. The most obvious solution is to lock the gun up, but if the purpose is self-defense against home invaders, that could defeat the purpose. RADETEC has the answer. Attaching to the bottom of the barrel, the smart gun system is pretty simple. The owner of the gun has to wear a bracelet, and they can give additional bracelets to anyone they think needs to be able to use the gun. It's only when the smart gun can detect the bracelet that it will allow the gun to fire. The bracelet can be worn on the wrist or on the ankle, and the signal can travel through clothes and other obstacles. If you're not too bothered by the idea of the bracelet, it's a pretty nifty system, and like the Smart Slide, it's designed to fit onto your Glock. Number 3. CHIAPPA RHINO 60DS Gold. We've talked a lot about how different guns have different features that make them effective and cool. But sometimes all you want is a gun with firepower and solar power to melt people's eyes. And that's when you get the CHIAPPA RHINO 60DS Gold. This is a revolver that fires .357 Magnum rounds, both in single and double action to your taste. What sets the RHINO apart is that its barrel is in direct line with the shooter's arm when held in the usual way. That helps eliminate a lot of the recoil that's standard with the .357 Magnum weapons. But honestly, the real reason you'd want to get this is that bedazzling gold color with the walnut wood handle. It's cool in the cheesiest way possible, something that's kinda true of revolvers in general, really. Number 2. Thunder .50 BMG. All of the guns we've looked at so far have been sold and have seen action, either with the military and police or with private users. Sure, the AA-12 is rare, but there was a time when it was being made and sold. The gun we're looking at now, though, is a kind of an urban legend. The BMG and the .50 BMG stands for Browning Machine Gun. These are rounds that were designed to be fired from the M2 fixed machine gun and are now used in anti-material rifles. And some genius created a pistol that can shoot .50 BMGs. This weapon has only ever existed as a prototype. Designed by Triple Action, they spent a long time looking for a manufacturer to actually mass-produce the Thunder. Thankfully though, this pistol makes for an interesting prototype, but all it can really do is cause serious damage to its target, as well as the person firing it. Number 1. KELTEC P50. We often refer to guns as platforms because of their modularity. The core design is versatile enough that, with the right mods and accessories, it can serve a variety of functions. We don't often get to use the platform term for pistols, but the KELTEC P50 is one such platform. Chambered for 5 to 7 rounds, this gun comes with a whole mess of Picatinny rails and QD mounts. You can equip sights, barrels, stocks, and all other kinds of gear to customize the P50 for whatever application you're going for, whether it's hunting or personal defense. The gun itself can get any job done too, with a unique magazine that can take a double stack holding up to 50 rounds. This is the ultimate pistol for gun customizers or anyone else who wants to build their weapon for a specific use case. Alright, which of these guns do you think is the coolest? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to TechJoint, and we'll see you in the next one.